Welcome to As a Matter of Faith, brought to you by Altered States, an online ministry dedicated to beginning each day with good news of the gospel. I am your host, Preacher Bob. Probably one of the crappiest feelings in the whole wide world is when people give up on us. It could be that coach who decided that you just were never going to be more than a mediocre ball player, and so he banishes you to the bench. Or maybe it's the employer who decides you're just not fast enough or not smart enough to keep up with the job and he fires you. Or perhaps it's a spouse who's been patient that you would make some necessary changes who just finally throws up their hands and moves on without you. Well, during the time that the Israelites were in exile in Babylon, they must have felt pretty much that same way, as though God had just given up on them. They were a long way from home, far away from their house of worship, removed from everything that was familiar to them. Oh yeah, sure, they'd sinned, but now it seems as though God had just given up on them and walked away. Through the prophet Ezekiel, God gave those people languishing in exile a much-needed assurance that He was never going to give up on them. He had promised to deliver Israel many times through the generations, and He intended to keep that promise. In His determination to keep His promise to His people, God, through Ezekiel, let them know that a Savior was coming, one that would take away their sin, one that would provide a refuge for all who would seek Him. And no matter how unlikely it might seem, my friends, God will not give up on you either. God's already proved that by keeping the promise to send Christ. The cross is God's guarantee He's never going to give up on you. He loves you, He saved you, and He's always going to be with you. As a matter of faith, wherever you are, whatever your circumstance, remember that God says to you, I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will do it.